En la clase de hoy vamos a aprender inglés de una manera sencilla y divertida. Vamos a escuchar y leer 4 historias diferentes en inglés. La idea es que te vayas familiarizando con el idioma, escuchando y leyendo todo en inglés. Todas las palabras que no entiendas, escríbelas en tu cuaderno para posteriormente traducirlas. Verás que si eres constante con este método, verás grandes resultados. Sin nada más que decir, comencemos.
In the vast and cold forests of the north, there lived a lone wolf named Fenrir. Since he was a pup, Fenrir had been different from the other wolves in his pack. While his siblings played and hunted together, he preferred to explore the forest on his own, fascinated by the mysteries it held. As he grew, Fenrir distanced himself more and more from his pack. Not because he didn't love them, but because he felt an inner call pushing him to discover the world beyond the known limits. One day, after a heated argument with the pack leader, he decided to leave and follow his own path. Fenrir's journey began on a cold winter morning. With the wind howling around him and the snow covering the ground, he ventured into the deep forest. For days, he wandered aimlessly, facing the dangers of nature and learning to survive on his own. Although the loneliness was sometimes overwhelming, Fenrir found solace in the beauty of the landscape and in the small moments of peace he found along the way. One night, while resting under a tree, Fenrir heard a faint whimper. Following the sound, he found a small fox trapped in a snare. Without hesitation, he used his strong jaws to free the fox. The little animal, grateful, introduced himself as Sapphire and promised to accompany Fenrir on his journey. Together, Fenrir and Sapphire traveled through mountains, crossed rivers, and explored valleys. Along the way, they met other animals who joined their group, each with their own stories and skills. There was a wise owl named Orion, who taught them to read the stars, and a deer named Breeze, who knew the secrets of medicinal plants. Over time, Fenrir realized that although he had started his journey alone, he now had a new family. A family united not by blood, but by friendship and mutual respect. Together, they faced challenges and celebrated victories, always supporting each other. One day, while exploring an ancient cave, they found a mural that told the story of a legendary wolf who had saved his pack from great danger. Fenrir, seeing the image, understood that his destiny was not only to explore, but also to protect and guide others. With renewed determination, he decided to return to his old pack and share everything he had learned. Fenrir's return was met with surprise and distrust at first, but he soon proved his worth. With the help of his new friends, he taught the pack to be stronger and more united. Under his leadership, the pack thrived and became one of the most respected in the forest. Fenrir, the lone wolf who had set out in search of his destiny, had found his true purpose. And although his journey had been long and full of challenges, every step had led him to become the leader and protector he had always been destined to be. On a dark and stormy night, Paris was shrouded in a veil of mystery. The cobblestone streets reflected the light of the full moon, and the wind whispered ancient secrets through the alleys. In the heart of the city, at a small cafe called Le Loup-Garou, the locals gathered to tell stories and share their fears. Among the regular patrons was Lucien, a young journalist with a passion for the supernatural. He had heard rumors about a werewolf roaming the streets of Paris and was determined to uncover the truth. One night, while sipping his coffee, an old woman approached him and whispered in his ear, "If you want to know the truth, go to the Montmartre cemetery at midnight." Intrigued, Lucian decided to follow the old woman's advice. That very night, he headed to the cemetery, where shadows seemed to come to life and the mausoleums whispered tales of old. As he walked among the graves, he heard a howl that chilled him to the bone. Following the sound, he arrived at an ancient, dark crypt. Inside the crypt, he found an old, dusty journal. Upon opening it, he discovered it belonged to a man named Jean-Claude, who had been cursed with lycanthropy. Jean-Claude had written about his internal struggle, his desire to find a cure, and his fear of hurting those he loved. Moved by the story, Lucian decided to help Jean-Claude. With the journal in hand, Lucian began researching the werewolf curse. He visited ancient libraries, spoke with experts in the occult, and roamed the darkest corners of Paris in search of answers. Finally, he discovered that the only way to break the curse was to find a rare flower that only bloomed under the light of the full moon in the forest of Fontainebleau. Without wasting any time, Lucian headed to the forest. The night was cold and the wind blew fiercely, but he was determined to find the flower. After hours of searching, he finally found it, glowing under the moonlight like a beacon of hope. With the flower in hand, he returned to Paris and headed to Jean-Claude's crypt. Upon arrival, he found Jean-Claude transformed into a werewolf, struggling against his own nature. Lucien, unafraid, approached and offered him the flower. Jean-Claude, upon consuming it, began to change. His claws and fangs disappeared, and his body returned to human form. With tears in his eyes, Jean-Claude thanked Lucien for freeing him from his curse. From that day on, Lucien and Jean-Claude became inseparable friends. Together, they continued to explore the mysteries of Paris, always in search of new adventures and secrets to uncover. And so, the legend of the werewolf in Paris became a story of redemption, friendship, and bravery. In a small town surrounded by mountains and forests, lived two German shepherd puppies named Max and Luna. Max was a curious and brave puppy, always ready to explore new places. Luna, on the other hand, was more cautious and thoughtful, but equally adventurous when it came to accompanying her brother. One day, while playing in their backyard, Max found a small hole in the fence. "Look, Luna! A new path to explore!" he exclaimed excitedly. Luna, though a bit nervous, decided to follow her brother. Together, they ventured into the forest, where the trees were tall and the leaves crunched under their paws. As they moved forward, they found a stream of crystal-clear water. Max, without a second thought, jumped into the water and started swimming. "Come on, Luna! The water is fresh and delicious!" Luna, after a moment of hesitation, joined Max, and together they enjoyed a refreshing swim. After swimming, they continued their journey and found a dark cave. Max, with his usual bravery, decided to enter. "Let's go, Luna! Let's see what's inside!" Luna, though scared, didn't want to leave her brother alone, so she followed him. Inside the cave, they found a hidden treasure, a box full of toys and treats for dogs. "Look, Luna, we are the luckiest puppies in the world," said Max with a big smile. Suddenly, they heard a strange noise. It was an owl that lived in the cave. "Who are you and what are you doing in my home?" asked the owl in a deep voice. Max, always brave, replied, "We are Max and Luna, and we were just exploring. We didn't mean to disturb." The owl, seeing the sincerity in the puppy's eyes, decided to share his treasure with them. You can take some toys and treats, but always remember to respect others' homes. Max and Luna thanked the owl and returned home with their new treasure. From that day on, they learned the importance of bravery, exploration, and respect for others. And so, every day, they continued their adventures, always together and always learning something new. In a vibrant and lively city, there lived a very special panther. She was not an ordinary panther. Her fur was a bright pink color that made her stand out among all the other animals. This panther, known simply as the Pink Panther, was famous for her wit, elegance, and ability to get into comical situations and gracefully get out of them. The Pink Panther lived in a small apartment in the city center. Her home was decorated in a unique style, full of modern art and elegant furniture. Every morning, the Pink Panther would wake up early, make herself a coffee, and go out to explore the city. She loved strolling through parks, visiting art galleries, and most of all, solving mysteries. One day, while walking through the park, the Pink Panther noticed something strange. A group of people had gathered around a statue, murmuring and pointing. Curious, she approached to see what was happening. The statue, which was normally a dull gray color, was now glowing with a golden sheen. The Pink Panther knew something was not right and decided to investigate. Following her instincts, the Pink Panther began asking questions to the people there. She discovered that the statue had been donated to the city by an eccentric art collector known for his pranks. Determined to get to the bottom of the mystery, the Pink Panther headed to the collector's mansion. The mansion was an impressive place, full of artworks and antiques. The Pink Panther, with her natural elegance, managed to enter unnoticed. While exploring the mansion, she found a secret room filled with strange artifacts and a diary belonging to the collector. The diary revealed that the statue had been coated with a magical powder that made it glow, and that the collector planned to use it to lure art thieves and trap them. The Pink Panther, always willing to help, decided to thwart the collector's plans. With cunning, she managed to deactivate the trap and return the statue to its original state. Then, she left an anonymous note for the collector, warning him not to play with magic. The news of the Pink Panther's feat quickly spread throughout the city. People admired her not only for her bravery, but also for her wit and ability to solve problems creatively. The Pink Panther continued her adventures, always finding new ways to help others and keep the city safe. One day, while strolling through an art gallery, the Pink Panther met a young artist named Leo. Leo was struggling to find inspiration for his next masterpiece. The Pink Panther, with her love for art, decided to help him. Together, they explored the city, visited museums, and talked about their dreams and aspirations. Over time, Leo found the inspiration he was looking for and created an impressive artwork dedicated to the Pink Panther. The painting depicted the Pink Panther in all her splendor, surrounded by vibrant colors and abstract shapes. The piece became a success and was exhibited in the city's most prestigious gallery. The Pink Panther and Leo became great friends, and together they continued exploring the city and living adventures. The Pink Panther, with her elegance and wit, remained a beloved and admired figure in the city. Her story became a legend, inspiring many to live with creativity, bravery, and a touch of humor.
Espero de todo corazón que esta clase te haya gustado. Si es así, regálame un like y suscríbete al canal, que en verdad me ayudarías bastante. Y para todos los estudiantes que se quedaron hasta el final, les tengo un regalo. Debajo de este video encontrarán una clase de inglés desde cero totalmente gratuita. El link para esta clase estará en la descripción del video o en el comentario fijado. También te recomiendo que veas este otro video donde aprenderás inglés con una historia muy interesante, súper divertida. Entonces te espero ahí, no te lo puedes perder.